So, if you guys have seen my other videos, you guys have to know that I'm a pretty big Resident Evil fan. I've made videos about Resident Evil 3, Resident Evil Revelations, Resident Evil 5, which forever will be my least favorite Resident Evil game. But I've even made a video about the trailer for Resident Evil 9 Requiem, which we are getting in February next year, which I can't wait for. But I thought it's about time that I made a video about my very favorite Resident Evil game, Resident Evil 4. If you guys don't know how I started getting into the Resident Evil games, for Christmas one year from my parents, I got the Resident Evil triple pack. I have no idea why they got this game for me. I think it was just like a stocking stuffer or something. But I'm not complaining about it because this triple pack started my love for the whole series of Resident Evil, starting from the original Resident Evil 4, which you gotta love. I mean, there's so many cheesy parts to it, especially with that one scene with Leon and Ramon about Ramon's hand.
I've sent my right hand to dispose of you.
Your right hand comes off?
And then 5, which was just bad. It was bad on the Switch, it's bad on the PlayStation, and I just gave up both times. And then you got 6, which I'm currently in the middle of playing. I don't understand why a lot of people hate it, but I kinda do now. It's definitely different from the other Resident Evil games, but I don't think it's awful. But to each his own in his thoughts. But I loved Resident Evil 4, the remake, so I want to talk about why I love it. The opening of this game is definitely one of the darkest openings that I've ever seen from a horror game. I mean, it starts out with a human sacrifice at the very beginning, which itself is crazy, and then we get Leon's backstory from his experience in Raccoon City from Resident Evil 2, and how he went from being a cop to being like this, FBI agent basically working for the president, going on these special missions, how we set on this mission to rescue the president's daughter. It's just amazing right from the very start. I think one of the biggest reasons why I love Resident Evil 4 so much is the open world, non-open world with the combat and exploration in this game. To clarify what I mean in that, I think just the combat in this is awesome. How, like, this was the first Resident Evil game to break away from the whole zombie takeover thing, zombie apocalypse. How, like, Resident Evil 2, we have Leon in the police station fighting off these zombies, the whole Resident Evil in the mansion in the very first game. In Resident Evil 3, we got Jill fighting the zombies in Raccoon City. But with Resident Evil 4, we have Leon going after President's daughter, and he's in this village where they're not zombies, they're people that have been taken over by this, like, parasite. And what I love about it is that once Leon, like, supposedly he kills them, like, you know, their necks will be broken, and like the parasite's tentacles will be popping out from their broken neck, and Leon will still have to fight them somehow. And I love the combat and that him like running through these certain points of these villages, like running over bridges, or like he'll come into close combat, he'll do roundhouse kicks to them. My favorite thing sometimes is when you can get into close combat with these characters that are being possessed, and you can like shoot them in the kneecaps, and then you can do like a roundhouse kick to them. Like there's this one point in the game where I got into this one area where I dropped down to this hole and I was just waiting for these villagers to come down in the hole, and that's what I was doing to fight them the entire time. It was pretty fun. What I mean by open world is that there are points of this game where, yeah, I feel like it's urgent to go after the president's daughter to save her, but I honestly get distracted with the things that Leon can do in this game. Like, there's points of the game where, like, you are going on this mission to, like, solve these puzzles, but you're in this motorboat on this lake, and with how good the graphics are, you can be, like, in the middle of this rainstorm, and all I wanted to do was just drive around the lake in the rainstorm. And honestly, I got distracted with it, but I'm not complaining because I was having a good time doing nothing. That's another thing. One of my greatest appreciations of Resident Evil 4 is the boss battles in this. The very first boss battle on the lake is amazing. I mean, it's this giant, like, eel-like creature, and it's like dragging the motorboat with Leon on it, and Leon is just like harpooning the creature from the boat, and once in a while it will swim towards the boat ready to bite it, and Leon can just harpoon it in the mouth. But it is a super fun boss fight. It's really fun to be able to just play as Leon and to be able to be drug around the lake by this creature in the water while Leon just harpoons it. One of the greatest things about the game. Plus, the island itself is really fun to explore. Like, you got this cult that there's this one point where it's like nighttime during the rainstorm that Leon is still like making his way to find President's daughter, and he runs into these people that are like doing this chanting, and they end up like becoming these like humanoid creatures that the parasite has evolved from. But it's cool to be able to like see the island itself kind of evolve. Like the weather go from like sunny, like still dangerous, very dangerous environment to having hazard weather to it. I love that even the smallest thing like the weather changing was added into this game. I thought that made the experience that much better in this game. There were also details in this game that I thought were pretty cool. Like, there's points of it where to solve this puzzle, Leon has to get these two statue heads and put them in this statue's hands in order to get this key. And when he gets the heads from the statues, once you solve those puzzles, and he takes the heads off, the statues actually bleed. So I thought that was actually kind of a cool detail that the developers put into this game. Like, you've taken the head off of this body and naturally it's gonna bleed. I thought it's cool that they incorporated that detail into a statue. Just something cool that I thought. Something else I loved about this game is that how it relied on each separate character. Like, there's this one character named Louise who you meet early on in the game, and he's a pretty funny guy. I like him. I like the cutscene with him and Ada when they first meet. Speaking of Ada, she is awesome in this game. I love her a lot when her and Leon meet. She's great in every cutscene. But with Louise, he kind of seems like a brat, but he is really useful. I really like the fact that Louise, even when I say Louise is really useful, I say that because he actually is. Like, there's this one part of the game where Leon finally meets Ashley and they're running from this the horde of these possessed villagers to get Ashley back after Leon finally gets her. And they go into this one house where Louise is like, Alright, we gotta hide her while we fend off these people. So Ashley like hides in this little hole in the wall, and it's one of the funnest parts of the game. You work with Louise to shoot all these villagers that the fight starts off really slow. You're just boarding up the windows as they're trying to get in. But as more people show up, they get creative. Like the house has is a two-story house. The villagers bring this ladder up. So you're fighting the villagers on the bottom floor. But then you have to worry about them coming down the stairs from the top floor. And then there's also these stronger creatures, stronger villagers. Like there's strong villagers that wear this like bull mask. Those are strong that you gotta worry about. You gotta work with Louise to fight those off. And at one point, Louise and Leon and Ashley are just like, Alright, we can't fight these guys off anymore. Let's go, let's run. It's pretty great because they're chasing them through this gate and Leon shoots it and it crushes one of the villagers. And at this point they're safe from the villagers right now. But it's really fun to be able to work with Louise to protect Ashley and defending her in the house. Really fun. Ashley actually isn't useless in this game either. Like, when you finally meet her as Leon, like, I thought it was just gonna be a pain in the ass to take care of her. And sometimes, yeah, it is to defend her from the villagers trying to get her. But there is this one point in the game where Leon gets trapped, and you get to play as Ashley. So she's like going through this library, and it's a really intense part of the game too, because you're trying to solve these puzzles like how to work a clock to be able to open these secret passages in the library. But these knights, the knight armor in this is actually infected, so they're trying to kill Ashley. You gotta like go around the corner, there's a knight, and once you shine light on the knights, they'll freeze, and you have to avoid their sword swings. It's super intense. It gets a feeling of it can bring a lot of anxiety at this point in the game, but I loved it. I thought it was really fun to play Ashley because she actually wasn't useless in this game. And it's a very, like, stress-inducing moment of the game to avoid the knights. It's a really cool part to play as Ashley Graham. I actually really liked her. I also like how the environment of the game can change. Like, at the beginning of the game, like, it's kind of hinted that Leon's gonna be fighting these giant, basically trolls, because this one point he sees this giant hammer. He's like, good luck finding anyone to lift that. And he ends up fighting this giant troll. And it's kind of cool because in other games, if you like shoot a creature in the face or something, there isn't any detail that you're doing it damage. But with this, once I was shooting the creature in the face, like, you can actually see the bullet holes hitting the creature, hurting it. I thought that was a pretty cool detail. Plus, later in the game, well, earlier, like, you help this white wolf, and it'll help you fight the troll. And that's another reason, like, later in the game, like, you end up going through Louise, like, you team up with Louise, and you go through these mines, and you end up fighting these two trolls with Louise, which is really fun. Like, Louise isn't this just side character that does nothing like you expect him to, but he's actually helpful, which is really fun, especially fighting these two trolls with Louise. It's really cool. Ugh. I'm jumping around so much talking about this game. There's just so much about this game that I love. My apologies. Anyway, more about Louise. Just this part I loved because there's a part where Louise and Leon have teamed up to go after Ashley, and they're still in the mines, and they get in this minecart, and they're riding the minecart like they're turning, like they have to lean from side to side to keep the car from going off the tracks. And at the same time, there's like these villagers that are after them. And so in the back, while Luis is like steering the car, Leon is in the back, he's shooting the villagers, and you have to watch out for these villagers that they have like these dynamite that you can shoot and they'll explode and destroy the villagers, and you have to watch out for these other obstacles. It literally feels like you're in a thrill ride. Like, I wish Disneyland or Universal Studios would make this an actual roller coaster from this game, because that would be super dope. It is one of the funnest moments of the game. I say one of them because the game really does have a lot of action thrill ride moments to it. Just the minecart's one of them. So Ramon, he is in this game, he's boring, the boss fight with him isn't fun. He wasn't really fun in the original game either. But Krauser in this game, who was like Leon's teacher, he ends up killing Louise, and Leon ends up going after Krauser, just cause like Krauser's basically gone crazy, cause like Osmond Saddler, the main villain of the game, promised Krauser power, and the boss fight with Leon and Krauser is really fun. Like, look, Krauser's turned the entire castle-like area battlefield into a minefield that you gotta basically be on the lookout for these landmines, these tripwires. He'll appear out of nowhere that Leon has to fight sometimes. It's crazy. Plus, the boss battle is really fun to go against Krauser. It's really fun. I enjoyed it a lot. The last section is like this science lab that Leon has to like go through this blackout area, solve all these puzzles. At the same time, he's being stalked by these really creepy albino creature things that are super creepy, but what's cool is that you can get this upgrade to this gun that you can see in infrared, and these creatures have like 3 hearts. So once you get the upgrade on that, you can just blast the creatures with ease. But it's kind of cool to go from like this pioneer-like village to this castle to this science lab. Just the environmental changes in this game, it's something that I really loved about it. They put a lot of thought in this Resident Evil game, and it definitely shows, which is why it's one of my favorites. Anyway, the final boss with Osmond Saddler is probably one of the coolest Resident Evil final boss fights. He like turns into this giant scorpion-like creature where he'll send bugs after Leon, and Leon's fighting him on this pier. At this one point, Leon, like, as a final blow, he stabs Saddler in the eye with his Saddler's own scepter, and like, it just becomes this whole thing once you finally defeat Saddler. Like, you end up going with Ashley to escape this island. It becomes this whole Metroid countdown thing. Like in the other Metroid games, once you finally beat the boss, how the planet's gonna blow up, the island's gonna blow up. So you're just escaping the factory island before it destroys itself. It's pretty cool. The last thrill ride thing is that, yeah, you're escaping the island, and it has the thrill ride of a jet ski escape. You're going through these tunnels as it's collapsing in on itself, and then you shoot out of the tunnel and you see the whole island slash factory explode, killing everybody. And Leon and Ashley are just talking. They're like, mission finally complete. And Ashley doesn't flirt with Leon like she did in the original ending of Resident Evil 4.
So, after after you take me back to my place, how about we do some overtime?
Sorry.
Oh my. Instead, she just offers Leon a permanent job as her security, and like the original, Leon turns her down. The two just ride into the sunset, and that's the game. It's a perfect ending. You feel like you've really accomplished stopping Sadler from his goal of taking over the world, basically, with this parasite. It's really cool. I love this game. So I give this game a 10 out of 10. If you love action adventure games, if you love the Resident Evil series, and you want a game that like is Resident Evil but it ventures away from the whole zombie apocalypse, definitely check out Resident Evil 4 Remake on PlayStation 5 or 4. I believe there was one for 4 and 5. But super fun game. I highly recommend it. Really great. So, yeah. That's it. I love this game. Anyway, guys, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Have a good day.